Good afternoon. The time has arrived. Oh, I'll just jump in for right now. Duality is required for physical existence. I feel a sense of frustration every time I hear someone say we are moving beyond or transcending duality. You may have heard me talk about this before. What is duality to me? Duality is the intentional creation of complementary pairs of opposites. They are designed to dance and harmonize with each other. Without them, there can be no electricity or magnetism, both of which are essential for a physical universe. Electromagnetism is the primary energy in the cosmos. The problem is not opposites. It is the polarization of opposites or the attempt to eliminate one at the expense of the other. That pits the attempter against creation. Another word for polarization is dualism. This is not the same thing as duality. Again, nothing can exist without duality, at least in a physical world. The attempt to eliminate duality is therefore insane, a doctrine and belief of psychotic spirituality. Its opposite seems just as insane, lawlessness that allows everything, including violation of free will among sentient beings, which is tyranny. All life is sacred. All action is not. And I had one word wrong here. I don't see it. I'm going to have to try to remember to read it later, and I hope I do. Otherwise, it'll go in as the wrong word. It's a real word. It's just not the right word. Anyway, I've really, as I've prepared for this talk today, I've been in a strange place from my point of view because I'm somewhat torn over some of the comments from Neil Dyer in yesterday's video that he posted on Facebook. And if you're not on Facebook, don't ask me to share it. It's your choice not to be on Facebook. In any case, I had already written the part about duality before I saw his thing. So the last couple of sentences, its opposite seems just as insane, came after I read Neil's commentaries. To me, the duality issue is just simply a misunderstanding. That's something that's maybe a pet thing of mine, that people understand the meaning of the word. It doesn't mean, duality doesn't mean clashing. It doesn't mean dueling. It doesn't mean that at all. Again, it's simply pairs of opposites that are made to be not complementary, complementary, with an E, not an I. There's a difference in the meaning. A compliment is when somebody says, you look nice. Complementary means they are a complement one to another. They respond to each other in a good way. That's what complementary is. And pairs of opposites are supposed to respond to each other in a good way. That's the meaning of the word. And there's nothing in the universe wrong with duality or pairs of opposites. That's what makes life real. That's what makes life physical. As I said in the blurb, you cannot have any physical anything without electromagnetism. And electromagnetism is the dancing of north and south pole of the magnetic part of it and the positive and negative charge of the other. And then there's the neutral charge, which really the neutral charge encompasses them both when they're in harmony. That's the neutral charge. And that's what oneness is. It's a neutral charge around the polarity that allows it to harmonize instead of conflict. In other words, it removes the opposition. Now, Neil challenged me on yesterday's video and said, oneness judges nothing and includes everything. Well, that's At one level, that's true. Oneness judges, it shouldn't say nothing, it should say no one. Because there's a difference between judgment and discernment, between judgment and condemnation. There's a huge difference there. I condemn no one. You've heard me say again and again, I don't even condemn the Illuminati. I don't condemn the international bankers. I don't condemn the people, the real terrorists in the world, the psychopaths. I don't condemn them as beings. I cannot condemn them because their beingness is part of the same God or life force that I am part of. There's only one life force and we all share it. So I do not ever, ever condemn. That is, say, they need to be eliminated. But the behavior needs to be addressed. The behavior needs to be changed. That kind of duality, that's not duality, that's dualism, where there's no more complementariness, that the opposites now are at war with each other, each trying to destroy the other and pull the reality apart. Psychopathy, which is a disease of the human mind, as I see it, and it's plaguing the elite establishment, but it was given to them so that they could wake us up. That's my belief. That's my observation. In any case, it was given to them so they could wake us up, but their actions are immoral. Their actions are wrong. They're detrimental. They're life destructive. They're not life affirming. They are, everything that's in me cries out against behavior of that nature, of not allowing justice, of not allowing truth, of stopping truth, and of telling lies on purpose to deceive people and to keep them bound and imprisoned in a, if not a literal prison, in a figurative prison. And that reminds me, I need to take my phone off the hook, and it's probably going to make noise after a little bit. But I can't help that. I've had about 6 or 7 phone calls today from a prison in Texas, and I have no idea. It's the person's name is Glenn, but I don't have any idea who this Glenn is. I have a friend that's Glenn, who I've been trying to reach, but he doesn't live anywhere near Texas. He's in the New England states. In any case, people are in a figurative prison because of psychopathic or tyrannical behavior. And that has to be addressed. You cannot be neutral. If you don't take a stand for justice, you allow injustice. You fall for tyranny. You lay down and you let tyrannical actions sweep over you. You allow war. You allow all sorts of atrocities to be committed, and it's insane. It's absolutely insane. Again, duality, or oneness I should say, embraces the person, the individual, and sees them as a wounded being crying out for love because their behavior allows them to do such things. Only an insane, a sick person can do such things. Calling them sick is just the state of their actions. It's a reflection of what they're doing that is so abhorrent to a conscious sentient being that loves. Love doesn't allow stuff like that. Love takes a stand. Love says no more. Love does not tolerate injustice. It cannot tolerate injustice. It cannot say, well, it's okay. Let the kids play, even if they kill each other. Just let them play. It's okay. No, it's not okay. It's not okay for any being to hurt any other being and to cause harm and loss and to violate free will. It's not okay. That's universal cosmic law. It's not okay. And judgment, thou shalt not judge, is appropriate when it's dealing with the individual. It's inappropriate when it's dealing with behavior, because there are behaviors that are wrong. Now, there's an awful lot of morality that enters into it regarding our sexuality and who we love and how we love and consenting consenting interactions between people. People have a right to choose voluntarily and willingly however they choose to interact with each other, and that's their choice, and they have that right. And nobody has the right to interfere with their choice. No society, no community, no nation, no culture, no law, no nothing has the right to interfere with someone's free will choice and the freedom to be and do as you wish, provided it doesn't harm or cause loss or violate another's free will. It's really, universal law is really, really simple. And yet there are people whose concept of allowance, whose concept of oneness, whose concept of no polarity is that we just allow everything. Everything is okay. It's neither good nor bad. That's not true. That's not true. And any one of you that believes that, Neil Dyer or anyone else that believes that everything is okay, let me provide somebody to harm one of your children. I don't even know if Neil has children. I'm assuming he does, but let's say he has children. And I sent someone to harm your child in front of you. And you say, well, it's okay. I'm just going to allow it because that's my spiritual belief. I'm supposed to allow everything, and nothing can happen except good. Ultimately, everything is good. Nothing is bad. Nothing is evil. Nothing is wrong. I am not going to make a judgment. I'm going to stay neutral, and I'm going to let your person harm my child in front of me. I don't like it, but I know I won't be spiritually mature or spiritually balanced if I stand up and I try to stop you from doing what to me is obviously wrong, but yet I'm going to allow it because that's my belief system. That's the kind of attitude, folks, that is put into our New Age belief system that allows everything. It allows nothing to change. If you try to change something because it's inherently bad, because it's inherently destructive to life itself, then you're fighting creation, they would say. Well, if you're doing that in trying to eliminate darkness, now darkness is just simply the absence of light. It creates light and darkness together dance and create contrast so that we can perceive. As I've said many times, if you have pure light or pure darkness, you cannot see. You need both of them in balance in order to perceive in the physical world. That's just the way it works. And you need masculine and feminine to procreate more life. And that's true in plant world, and it's true in the animal world, and it's true among sentient beings. Life produces life. It's the law of biogenesis. Life always produces more life. And I'm not sure how it works in the mineral kingdom or anything like that, but to me, even that is alive. There's nothing, to me, nothing anywhere that isn't alive, because everything is spirit at different levels of vibration. Everything comes from the Creator, which is spirit, at different levels of vibration. And love, yes, is very tolerant and allows a lot of latitude, but there are limitations, and there have to be necessary limitations, and they need to be enforced in order for a world to have peace, in order for a world to be in balance and in harmony, and to work for everyone. There have to be rules, and there are only 3 that I know of. I know there was 10 commandments, but that's religion. There's only 3 basic cosmic rules. Do no harm, cause no loss, and do not violate another's free will. It's really, really simple. And oneness, those are principles of oneness, principles of unity. If you're not living according to those principles, you are out of unity. You are in disharmony. You are diseased. You are psychopathic and insane because you're doing something somewhere that if it was done to you, you would know instantly it's a violation of your rights. Instantly, you would know this is not okay because you're violating me. And violation of another is where love draws the line, and it must be drawn there. It's common sense. It's self-evident to me that it must be drawn there. We need duality, but we have to have limitations to our action. Because as I said at the last sentence that I added just before we started was all life is sacred. All action is not. Some action is wrong in its very nature. And people that say there is no right and wrong, that's New Age BS. That's simply not reasonable. It's not true. It cannot be true. And all you need to test the hypothesis of whether it's true or not is imagine somebody doing something to you that you just inherently know is wrong. If you won't stand up for yourself and stand up for the truth that is wrong, then you're deluded by this New Age doctrine that allows everything. And if you allow everything, the world will never change. Sickness will increase, injustice will increase, war will increase. Nothing will ever change if you just simply allow everything and take no stand. You'll fall for anything that comes down the pike. You'll fall for the dark plans of the Illuminati. You won't allow them to fulfill their mission on your behalf of waking you up and calling for a true and righteous stand, that this cannot continue this way. I love you, but you can't keep harming. And if you're going to keep harming people, you need to be curtailed until you change your mind, which is called repentance, until you turn from that kind of action, because that kind of action is not tolerable in a just and loving society. That's all I have to share for today. Thank you for listening. Namaste.